tudo bem. It's a good start, right? I'm so sorry, I'm not speaking Portuguese, but I tried. Olá, tudo bem. It's almost what I can say. So I'm so sorry, I will speak in English, but I would like to talk to you about sustainability more in depth. And it starts with climate change. And it goes up to Industry 4.0. Well, this is all the story that I would like to tell today. Let's start. So first, climate change. You know, it's in everybody's talk today. Everybody is talking about sustainability, is talking about climate change. Why is that? Because in our everyday, day-to-day life, wherever we live in this planet, we have to face, in a way or another, climate change. We have some areas of the world where you have huge fires. You have some areas of the world where you have no water anymore. So huge discrepancy. And this will not only reinforce over time. That's why we need to act. And you know what? When you believe me, when you know me more, you know that I want to be on the ground. So that's why I changed the slides. And I would like to show you a personal experience. Everybody is talking about climate change. So what I did last weekend, I went to the Alps, so big mountains in France, and I climbed up to the top of the Mont Blanc, climbing during nights. Why is that? Because I want to do a movie about the reduction of the ice sea. In 10 years, it melted the amount of the last 100 years. This is absolutely scary. This is absolutely scary. So I will share with you a few of those images. You know, these areas in the world is protected areas, very far away. You cannot go there. You have to climb during nights to go up to the top. It's 4,500 meters. It's an area that is usually totally protected. And everything is changing. Here are the pictures where I was working, climbing during nights. And in the morning, this is what I did. Paragliding up to the seawater. And I can tell you, it's not a glacier anymore. It's just water. Everything melted. Like 100 years ago, I can tell you that the population in this place, they were frightened. They were afraid that this glacier would melt and would bring everything away. And this is what is happening. There is no glacier anymore. It's just that I would like that, beyond all the wording that we can have in slides, this is our heart. This is the generation, our generation, and our children. This is what is at stake. Yes, we are all corporates. Yes, you are our partners. Yes, you are our clients. But believe it, we can make a huge difference. And this is what I want to show you today. This is not a matter of choice. This is something that we have to go through all together. Not just Schneider, not just you. It's all together with NGO, with association, with governments, and with you, partners and clients. This is all about sustainability. It's a game all together. And I used to say internally that sustainability, it's like a marathon without a finish line. We always need to reinvent ourselves. There is no end. It sounds scary, but in reality, it's full of opportunity, including business opportunity. We have to showcase to investors that by investing on sustainability, it's good for business, it's good for the planet, but it is also good for business. This is what it matters. So this is my personal experience, and now back to graphs, but just to give you a tone of what's happening. The graph shows that in reality, if we are not doing anything, we are up to 4 to 6 degrees. Up to 4 to 6 degrees. My team is always questioning, 4 to 6 degrees, does it matter? I don't feel it. It is a totally different world. I can tell you, all the scientists, they are making all the analysis, all the methodology, and they are proving that 4 degrees Celsius, it's a total different world. You have more extreme events than ever. You have more discrepancy across the planet. So totally different world. So what are we doing today? All the efforts, all the pledged made by governments reached 2.5 degrees. Is it good, 2.5 degrees? Again, between 2.5 and 1.5, I can tell you that each and every country you're coming from will see a difference. Sea rise, more fires, less water in some regions. Yes, we will see the difference. And that's why there is no other choice. We have to go for 1.5 degrees. And sometimes when I tell that for people, they're saying, yes, but this is for 2050. I don't care. This is for 2050. In reality, what I want to show here is that everything will happen in this decade, up to 2030. If we are not making the change now, it will never happen. So that's why, in reality, the 1.5 degrees Celsius, it's our choice to do it right now, to preserve the planet, to preserve the next generation. Then how to do it? Let me tell you what this is about. In the previous slide, I wanted to show that we have to save more than 10 gigatons a year. Is it huge? To be on 1.5 degrees Celsius, we have to save 10 gigatons minimum a year. Is it huge or not? In reality, each year, the emissions that is emitted is 59, among which the vast majority is CO2, carbon, 45 gigatons annually emitted is CO2, carbon emission. And we have to save at least 10 to 15 gigatons. So it's quite a lot. Where this is coming from? In reality, 80% of this 45 is coming from energy. That's why we need to talk about energy. The solution is here. The problem is here, yes, but the solution is here at the same time. That's why we need to tackle energy so drastically. 36 gigatons emitted a year on energy. And you will tell me maybe it's reducing over time. In reality, it's not the case. Why is that? Because population is growing, because we consume more. Remember, yesterday, Jean-Pascal was explaining that by 2050, we will have 2 billion additional people. And we have 800 million people that do not have access to energy. So in reality, we need to supply energy to 3 additional billion people. So yes, we are consuming less energy. How to solve this equation? We want to grow. We don't want the economies to cut down. So we want to grow. We want to give access to energy. And at the same time, we want to solve the planet. And therefore, we want to reduce the emission coming from energy. This sounds crazy. What's the situation? How to solve this equation? This is the basics of sustainability. We want to showcase that there is no trade-off. It's not growth against climate change. On the contrary, there is a new way we can look at our growth to be more sustainable. How to do that? Well, first is reducing the consumption. And this is something important that I want to reiterate. You know, when it comes to sustainability for energy, I'm sure that many of you are thinking about renewables. Solar, wind, offshore, geothermal, hydrogen, all those technologies. That sounds sexy, right? Well, in reality, we need them. But first, we need to work on the demand, because this is an untapped potential. This is very easy to implement. Reduction of the energy consumed. And I would say that if we want to solve the equation that I was mentioning, 50% of the solution is on the demand side by reduction of the consumption, and 50% is on the supply side. So that's why I want to start with the demand, because it's not right away in our heads. I used to say, how to make visible that is something that is invisible. Reduction of the energy consumed. It's all about digitalization, a lot about digitalization. And therefore, we all have to advocate that digitalization is the key enabler for decarbonization. It's not visual, it's not tactile, it's not like solar that you can visualize, but still, it's a huge part of the equation. So first thing about the energy demand. And the second is about the energy supply, as we were just mentioning. And we need both at the same time. Sometimes when I present that, I'm questioned, yes, but are the technologies available? Is it realistic? Is it costly? 70% of the emissions today can be solved based on the current technologies that we have. 70%. So that's huge in reality. So first, let's scale. Let's develop the existing technology. Let's make sure that everybody understands the business case. This is very easy to implement, existing solutions. And for the rest, yes, we need to invest in new technologies, more artificial intelligence from one side, but also green hydrogen for hard-to-abate sector, for example. And here, there is a debate in Brazil for green hydrogen. Yes, it's good, but we need both in parallel. And the first thing is deploying existing technology. 70% of the emission can be reduced based on existing technology. And that's why also companies like Schneider, we invest massively on research and development. You've seen some of our innovation, but I can tell you there are more to come. Each year in Innovation Summit, you will see more innovation. That's what technology is about. And again, sustainability like a marathon without a finish line. So we will always need to reinvent our products to go to the next level. One example, circularity. Energy transition, everything that I was mentioning, it's consuming lithium, it's consuming copper, it's consuming nickel. We need to be thoughtful about all raw materials. And that's why we need to think about a circular economy. That's what is all about energy transition, preparing the future all end to end. So you see both sides of the equation, demand first, and second, supply. And we have everything in hand to make it happen. And I would say that South America is the perfect example. In South America, including in Brazil, we are going in the right direction. Just looking at Brazil, it's one of the largest hydro and biofuel producer in the world. We have to be very proud of that. In addition, the target is 86% of renewable generation capacity by 2030 in Brazil. This is superb. In addition, we need to develop more demand side. And again, if you remember, yesterday we were saying that less than 10% of the building has building management system. Optimization of the energy efficiency in the building. So more to come. In addition to renewable, we have this untapped potential with energy efficiency. Another example, Colombia. Colombia is the biggest hydrogen exporter, an opportunity to develop green hydrogen. You know, it's really an opportunity. Or Chile, for example, huge discussion about the retirement of the coal plants with one target, 80% of renewable generation capacity by 2030. Again, this should make us hopeful. 2030 is the right horizon. And in parallel to that, we have additional possibilities with energy efficiency. I want to showcase that there is no one single solution. We have to make sure that we amplify the resources in every single country. We need to make sure that we work with every segment of clients, building sectors, industrial sectors, data center sectors, infrastructure, and we build the grid of the future to make that happen. This is the full equation. It's not that difficult in reality. It's not that difficult. That's why I want to show that this curve that I was mentioning, in reality, that's possible. And I was questioning myself, how fast can we deliver that? in reality, if we look at the history, we had many revolutions over time. You know, it started with mechanization and steam power, the beginning of the industry. And at the very beginning, in the 90s, in the 80s, you know, we were starting to produce electricity. This is Industry 1.0. This is Electricity 1.0. And then later on, in the 90s, we started to do mass production for the industry and mass electrification. This is Industry 2.0. This is Electricity 2.0. And later on, again, in 2000, we are more silicon. We are, you know, having more solar and more digital enabled. This is Industry 3.0, and this is Electricity 3.0. And what we are talking today, it's another biggest revolution. Yesterday, Jean-Pascal was talking about it. It's IoT everywhere. It's artificial intelligence everywhere. In automation, in energy management, the two worlds combined all together. This is what we call Industry 4.0, Electricity 4.0, and this is the only way that we can curb this emission. This is the only way. This is the revolution, and this is happening now. So that's why we should be helpful and hopeful that this will be delivered. This is the perfect equation. Digital plus electric, this is sustainable, and this is Electricity 4.0. Now, what's the reality today of the commitment? How we can drag all those companies to go in that direction. I wanted to look at the targets. How many companies have taken some commitment that are science-based targets? All good. Every year, twice more companies in the world are SBTi, science-based target. Twice more every year. You know, in 2022, 4,200 companies in the world. Well, super, very positive. What do you think about it? Let me tell you the other side of the coin. In reality, when you look at what they achieve, those companies, only 12% of them are achieving their targets. Why is that? Why there is such a discrepancy between commitments and achievement? Well, we discussed with many companies. They want to go for sustainability, but it's a big world. And in reality, beyond this simple world, you have many different things. When we talk with SMEs, for example, small companies, they don't have the levers to decarbonize. We have to accompany them. We have to give them the tools. So in reality, it's really capacity building. It's really helping them to strategize, to think what could be the decarbonization roadmap in order to match commitment with achievements. That's why now it's not only about commitment, it's about solutions, it's about delivery. It's not about announcements, it's about how practically we make that happen. This is the area that we are today. And how to do that? You remember my first picture, it was climbing the mountain. My team didn't want me to show the picture, but I think it's better because it speaks with the heart. I would say I've drawn these slides with 3 mountains. Today, when we discuss with our clients how they're developing and pursuing the targets, first thing, they're replacing energy supply. Exactly what I mentioned. They're doing solar. They're not thinking about energy efficiency. The first mountain that they climb is on energy supply. This is good, but this is not enough. How many companies are staying on this mountain? Many companies are staying on this mountain. Whereas in reality, we need to have them climb the second mountain, which is about reduction for efficiency and for circularity, energy efficiency. This is the second mountain. So many companies stay on the first one, and that's why we need to advocate the first mountain should be energy efficiency. We should think the other way around. And lastly, the last mountain, because we need the 3 mountains, it's electrification of the processes. Yes, it's more difficult. Yes, it's more difficult. But it's by combining the 3 mountains that we are making the 1.5 degree scenario, based on the current technologies. The message is that commitments are great, solutions are there. It's just a matter of deployment. And again, 3 mountains to climb. This is possible. We have shown that in the first slide. So you see, when we discuss with clients, it's all about partnership. We were talking yesterday with Jean-Pascal how to make it happen. You have technology provider on one side, you have government on the other side, and you have all the channel partners. What's my biggest headache? 99% of our mission in Schneider Electric, it's our customers and our suppliers. So that's why in this journey, it's not only working on us and our own perimeter, it's embarking the whole ecosystem. That's why we are here in a single room all together. That's why we are here all together. We want to help you. You will help us at the same time. That's the only way we can make a huge difference. So whatever our commitments are, it's the full ecosystem that we need to engage in that direction. Again, only way, 3 pillars. You know, when it comes to engaging into sustainability, many are saying how to start with. I want to go in that direction. I will go for solar, but how can I start? Basically, the first thing is to define a roadmap, and that's what we do, accompanying this, defining the right roadmap, the right governance, the right baseline. And then it's about measurement. You remember yesterday, we were talking about awareness, about digitalization. We need data. Sustainability is something serious that we monitor, we track, we report. This is something verifiable. I can tell you, on a quarterly basis, I have to present to investors our ESG results. That's as serious as our financial results. Same way. It's the same financial rigor in terms of robustness of the data. Same very important methodology. And last point is about decarbonization. That's the only way we can accompany clients to decarbonize. And again, all the solutions are there to implement and to make sure that beyond commitment, we turn that into actions. Now I have maybe a movie that can speak itself, because it's better to have the customer, right? Can we play the movie, please?
A Smart Modular Technology opera no mercado brasileiro há 20 anos. Nós produzimos circuitos integrados de memória à base de semicondutores, com tecnologia flash, utilizada em smartphones, e DRAM, para aplicações diretas em Smart TVs e na nossa produção de módulos de memória para computadores e servidores, além de módulos de conectividade IoT para a internet das coisas, utilizados na interconexão de dispositivos digitais e sistemas distribuídos. Graças ao contrato EcoCare, podemos obter um tempo de resposta mais rápido no suporte remoto ou local. Podemos nos beneficiar do monitoramento da integridade dos nossos equipamentos elétricos 24 horas, 7 dias por semana. Feito pela Schneider Electric, para detectar possíveis problemas e, se necessário, enviar especialistas até nós. O EcoCare faz o monitoramento térmico das colunas SM6 conectadas, trazendo mais eficiência para o nosso dia a dia, e com isso podemos verificar qualquer base instalada de qualquer lugar, a qualquer momento, pelo portal My Schneider. Mais alguma pergunta? E também nos beneficiamos de um treinamento de segurança com a realidade aumentada através do X-Structure XR Operator Advisor. Para Smart Modular Technologies, ter um contrato EcoCare com a Schneider Electric significa parceria, previsibilidade e confiança.
I just wanted to give a sense of customers' expectation and how we fulfill it. You know, it's not just word, it's a lot about solution implementation. I have many other examples, but I would like just to tell a word about the sustainability journey, because I talked a lot about decarbonization and carbon. But sustainability is much, much broader. In reality, it's working with suppliers, I told you before, and again, it's very difficult, but this is extremely meaningful, but it's also working on the social pillar. I have one commitment for the company. This commitment is to give access to 50 million people access to energy by 2025. Access to energy, 50 million people by 2025. This is a huge commitment. That's what we are doing here in Amazonia with FAS, for example, but we are doing also in Africa or East Asia. This is so meaningful. We don't want to be a corporate based in, I don't know which headquarters. We want to be extremely local. We want to be meaningful for the communities. And when it comes to sustainability, it's also helping the communities to develop. So first item, access to energy. And again, short-term, 2025 objective. That's something that we track on a quarterly basis. The second element is training. So many young people, we need to bring them at the right level so that at the end, they have a job. And the future will be more electrical. The future will be more digitized and more about renewable. So this is exactly what we bring on the table, working with many institutions. Sinai, for example, here, we are deploying extremely fast because we want to have a role for all those young generation to bring them at the right level to make sure that they have a job after school. This is our objective. Again, what target? 1 million young people trained in all those areas by 2025. Again, short-term commitment. We want to deliver. This is something that we are doing in Brazil, but we are doing also in other geographies like Africa or East Asia. You know, this is a sustainable company. It's carbon, but it's also other resources, thinking about circularity, for example. But it's also the social pillar with access to energy and with training on the new areas that will make sure they will have a job. I wanted to reinforce that because I'm convinced and deeply convinced that it's the only way we can meaningful at the community level. We don't care of being the biggest one, the global one, etc. We want to be extremely local, global and local at the same time. That's the only way. So this is just what we are doing, for example, in Brazil, to give you a sense on how we committed on access to energy and access to training. And by the way, I'm going to Manaus. This week I'm going to Manaus because I want to reinforce our partnership. COP will be in Belém. We need to showcase what we are doing in Amazonia. Yes, we need to. This is so easy to implement. But behind that, what this is about, it's a lot of technology. Access to energy, it's a lot of innovation that we are bringing. It's technology that we develop at Schneider. Technology that we develop to make sure that we have the right technology for the right people. This is all about, you know, sustainability. And my last message, guess what? It's that, you know, the moment is now. That's why we are all here today. The moment is now. Thank you. Obrigada.